So for me and for my colleagues here at the Happiness Research Institute, we are really excited to see what is happening with governments and politics and happiness globally. And just to give you an overview of that development, you could see in 2011, the UN passed a happiness resolution, essentially asking all the countries of the world to focus more on well-being and see what they can do to improve quality of life. The UN have also commissioned what is called the World Happiness Report, which looks at happiness levels in 150 plus countries across the world. And they have sort of, it's a big milestone. They are driving governments to focus more on this area. And we are seeing more and more governments nationally, but also local governments, cities, trying to create new ways of measuring progress instead of just measuring and focusing on standard of living, focusing on GDP per capita. They're now also focusing on quality of life, well-being. And it's a slow but important paradigm shift in terms of how we measure progress as societies. Maybe it's also something we will internalize and start to think about what is it that we are pursuing as individuals, as humans. Is it purely wealth, or is it more interesting to focus on happiness and quality of life? So that has been a tremendous leap forward for us. You have governments in the UK. They started to measure quite fine-grained, actually, the Office of National Statistics in the UK, measuring where are people more or less happy in the UK. You have one of the latest sort of developments is from the Middle East, where the United Arab Emirates, which is I think the 7th richest country in the world, now they want to be one of the 5 happiest countries in the world. So in 2016, I think it was, they appointed Her Excellency Uhud Al-Raumi, I think her name is, to be the Minister of State for Happiness. So she and I, we battle a little bit of who has the coolest job title in the world. I think she wins, but I like to think of myself as a close second. But her job is to get the Emirates to top 5 by 2021. And I think it's wonderful that we have countries that are focusing on other things than GDP. I think part of that is we can see that GDP is to some extent great for measuring productivity and a dimension of wealth, but fails to capture quality of life and livability and happiness for the citizens. So I don't think that we should abolish GDP. I think we should just create a complementary set of indicators that tells us additional things about how it is to live in different countries.